Hey, yo. Alright. So I thought I would try to explain some things on exactly why I completely disagree with a lot of these people and their views on how things work. Uh, yeah. Some of these people do a lot of research. They read books and blah blah. Okay. Oh no. They can think they can prove things through that research, or people that have had experiences think that, they have proof, or just like scientists. But no, I don't have proof of things that I talk about. But it's really hard to explain. So, I'll start off with a few examples of how perspectives and these people that read their books think that their way is the only way, they're right. There are different perspectives and beliefs, and then there's true understanding of things. And an example I have is you have an artist class. You have the subject in the center, and then you have the artists in a circle around the subject. Let's say it's a bowl of fruit. Now, think of this class, and you only have a certain amount of time to draw or paint this bowl of fruit. And think of this time as being a human in your ability to understand things. So you have a time limit. That is the limit of being a human and your human brain. So, some people, I would like to think these people that are reading their books, will only get one chance, this one perspective. They will draw or paint their picture, and that's all they get within that time. So they have that one perspective. Whereas others that have a much larger understanding of how things work, they're quick. They complete that drawing or painting, move on to a different view of the central subject, the bowl of fruit, paint or draw it, move on to the next. Now they only have a certain amount of time to do this, so that is the limitation of being a human. So they cannot make the 360-degree view of the object, but they have a much larger perspective since they have drawn it or painted it in different perspectives. So they have a much larger ability to understand things from a much larger perspective because they have seen it, from different points of view, different perspectives. So that's why I'm in the example, I think these book people, they've only either finished one drawing or painting of that subject, or they haven't finished it at all. And end of class. If that makes sense to people. So, being able to have a much deeper understanding of how things work, just think of that class. You've seen that subject, that bowl of fruit, from different perspectives, so you have a much bigger understanding of how things work, as opposed to somebody that's only seen it from one view. And then, this could include the book people, and also people that go based on spiritual experiences, and how emotional attachment and ideological beliefs can affect those perspectives and what they are saying. Because some of them have religious ideologies, or just, whatever ideological views they have an emotional attachment to those views. So in this example, we'll start off with just someone being bitten by a dog. Okay. Some people get bit by a dog. They hate dogs after that. They had that one experience, an emotional attachment to being bitten by a dog. They hate all dogs. Another person may have a phobia of dogs after being bitten by a dog. Afraid of all dogs because of that emotional experience. Someone else might just feel like, okay, I got bit by a dog. I'm not going to hate all dogs because it was just a dog, one dog that bit me. Okay, to get deeper into that, say a child just chilling in their front yard playing, and a rabid dog just comes and bites them in the face. That's a strong emotional reaction. So the rest of their fucking life, they have a phobia of dogs. That's an emotional attachment. Think of that as an ideology. You have an emotional attachment to an ideology. So that child is traumatized by being bitten by a dog. So the rest of their life, they're afraid of dogs. Now, someone that's had a different experience, maybe, there's a dog in a cage. Has a sign on the cage, do not put hands in cage. People say, do not put your hand in the cage. At a child, put their hand in the cage and get bit. Like, they learn. Well, I was told not to put my hand in the cage. I should have fucking listened. Emotional attachment, it's like, I should have listened. That is the emotion that comes out of that. Well, silly me. I did something dumb, so I should have listened. So, in explaining that, there are many different types of experiences, but still being bitten by a dog. Still the same event, but the experience is different. So it's understood in the mind and the emotions in a different way. So people that go based on experiences, this could go for the book people too, or the researchers, but it depends on the type of experience, and it depends on the emotional attachment to the ideology that you stick to and how you perceive things. People that are more open-minded tend to be the ones that, in this example, were just the ones that stuck their hand in the cage and were told not to, as opposed to the ones that are stuck in their ideology and cannot veer from it were the ones that were, traumatized as children and have that strong emotional attachment to the fear of dogs. Not sure if this is making sense, but, the other day I was trying to sleep and I just had all this shit going through my head. I was like, well, I should make a video. And I'm like, fuck that. It probably makes no sense to people. But it's just been fucking stuck in my head for days. So I'm like, fuck it, fine, I'll make a video. Okay. So we get that out of the way on why I am not in line with these people and how they go about things. Okay? Because, take many of them, because I had to write some of it down, because it was a very long time of trying to sleep and a lot of shit going through my head, and then I had to remember it. But, people talking about being in the Matrix. They always talk about being in the Matrix, and this is a simulation because they saw the movie The Matrix. Okay, first off, in The Matrix, the movie, when they unplug, they're still fucking human, living in a different reality. So that, please stop referencing The Matrix, because if we're in a Matrix and we leave it, we're not going to still be human. So, yeah, I understand that the big blockbusters tell truth, but they also tell lies. So, yeah, being in a simulation or a Matrix and you unplug, you're not still human. You are what? See, energy never dies. And it just goes elsewhere. And we all know the human body is powered by electricity. The brain is electrical. So when you die, that energy goes somewhere else. There is something energetic powering the body, which is the soul, or, what you are outside of this. So, people like to explain these things using technological terms. So I'll explain something to you using technological terms and how complex the universe is. Okay? So, we have this existence. Call that a computer. This existence is a computer. Okay? There are many different existences. Just think of multiple timelines. Every decision you make branches off into another timeline because at some point you made the other decision, but right now you're living a life where you've made all of these fucking different decisions, but there are all fucking maybe millions of you living on different timelines that have had so many branches making different decisions that they're living completely different lives than you are. Think of how much processing power that would take for just one person. Then think of the billions of people that are alive that have millions, not billions or trillions of different timelines. Think of the processing power that would take. So all of that has to go somewhere. So we have a very large network that has to process all of that information. This is just timelines for all the people. It has to be connected to, so many people say God, but I think like universal energy, source, whatever. It's all, source is like the mega processor that has to hold all this information And then you get to all the other dimensional beings, all the other beings, wherever the fuck, all of the other realities, all of this shit going on. All of those dimensions also have beings that have multiple timelines making decisions. So you have to have a very large processor and fucking mega center to process all of that information. So when people are like, there is no, well, I hate the fucking word God because it's just religious. So I like universal energy or source. Kind of turned off by source because so many of the rainbow fart people use source, but there is something out there that is processing all of this information and distributing it to all these different little computers that are us and the other beings and worlds and all that shit. So just think of how much information that is. These people don't think of that complexity. They just think it's black and white and this. So just think of being in the third dimension, which we humans call it, just because we know one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Who's to say that that is what we are? Just because we're humans and we know there are, we're third dimensional, because, what you're seeing on the screen is one-dimensional, or I don't know, two-dimensional. I don't fucking care. I'm just trying to say, who are we to say there aren't other dimensional frequencies that are lower than us, other than 1 or 2D? Because that is our understanding in this world existence, that there's only 2. But how can we prove that? Because we are here. And people are always talking about going to 5D or whatever, but you can't fucking comprehend that. Like, I was in 5D on ayahuasca, and like, my fucking brain felt like it was going to short circuit. But when I died, I was probably in 5D. And I don't know if it was 5D. It was another dimensional fucking existence. And I was fine with it because I was dead. But on ayahuasca, my brain couldn't handle it because I was tethered to my body. So, yeah, I have an understanding of, quantum physics and all that kind of shit, but I have an understanding of it in a different way. Because just had many fucking turns around that little artist circle, drawing that bowl of fruit. And some people are just so stuck on their point of view, and they can't zoom out and see how fucking complex things are. And maybe I sound fucking insane. Maybe I am. But I understand things. And, it was just really funny when Mr. Sanity Machine said, "Oh, you say there are things we can't understand. Well, I understand them." It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, seriously. Like, having wisdom is knowing you don't know shit and you're willing to learn. So it's pretty fucking stupid to sit there and say you know everything when you don't. You just know from reading your books, from what's understood in this dimension or this existence. When, I'm sorry, people have many theories, and they're is, you know, a certain level of understanding of what these other things are, but you can't really know what that is because you're here. You can't fully understand what those other things are. So it's just so fucking arrogant to say you know when you can't. And I'm completely fucking fine that I can't understand that kind of shit that I'll never fucking know until I'm done in here. Why is it so fucking hard for people to admit they don't know? I just don't get it. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. There's nothing wrong with saying, I was wrong about that. You know, I can change my opinion a lot when I gain new information. But, you know, I don't trust channelers. I would never try to channel information, and I think a lot of what they say is bullshit, anyways. They're probably being fed misinformation by things that don't have your best interests at heart. But maybe some of it's true, but just like big blockbuster movies, some of it's truth, some of it's lies. But I just felt like doing that because it was stuck in my head for a few days. Don't know if that makes sense, but that's why I can't agree with a lot of the shit these people talk about. Because they're stuck on that one perspective and can't see exactly how fucking complex everything is. And have that emotional attachment to their ideology. So, hope that made sense. Love y'all.